All right, everybody, welcome back to the Travi Wavi. I'm your affable host, Travis Eason, and we're coming to you again live from the 325 in beautiful downtown historic Abilene, Texas, the storybook capital of America, where once again I bring you an amazing character from the storybook. We're going to have a wonderful conversation today, and if you ever want to come down and watch the Travi Wavi live, we try to do these about 10 a.m. on Thursday mornings. Come downtown, grab some coffee next door at Majestic Coffee Shop, allegedly serving Onyx coffee, my personal fave, and come over and catch the Travi Wavi, usually followed by the Breakdown with Ben. I'm not sure if he's on today or not. He might have had to run out to the ranch and help his folks. But we are going to have a wonderful hour of fun-filled conversation with someone that I've known for a few years now, and we're going to get to know all about Christine Curtis Carr. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Travis.
I'm really glad that you're here today. I know we're going to have a great conversation. Christine, I was thinking, I think I met you back somehow related to ACU theater.
Correct.
Is that right?
It is right. I was wondering if you would remember that.
Were you a major? No.
Yes,
you were
I was
a major.
a theater major at ACU.
And you met
in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Right. And you were just like a little bit ahead of Kate and I as we were coming up, but your sister married Kyle Martin.
Yes.
And they have some wonderful kids.
They do.
And so I usually ask people about their siblings, but I know a little bit about your siblings. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your sister real quick before we get going?
So I have two sisters, and then I have a third sister by choice that came into our family about 20 years ago. So my sister Amanda, she lives here in Abilene with her husband Kyle. So Kyle and I were friends, and then they met while we were all at ACU together. And now they're married. They have two girls. And then my other sister Elizabeth, she lives in the Dallas area. Elizabeth owns her own business.
Oh, cool.
Called Bespoke. It's affiliate marketing. And then my sister Amanda is the most incredible teacher. Like incredible. I cannot say enough great things about her. And then my sister by choice Motto, she came into our lives a little over 20, well, maybe right under 20 years ago. And she lives in Nebraska.
Oh, cool.
Right. And so she works with refugees that are coming into the country to help them acclimate and get on their feet. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's
cool.
my family dynamic.
And you have a little bit of a famous father.
I do.
And Royce, because he was really impactful for AISD for a long time.
Correct, yes. He spent several years as the principal at Abilene High School and then moved over to become the associate superintendent in charge of personnel.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you have a long and rich history in Abilene. You grew up here.
Yes.
Abilene High.
Abilene High.
Yep.
Yeah,
ACU.
Go Eagles. ACU.
Met Brandon, your wonderful
Met Brandon,
husband.
yes.
By the way, you're looking super svelte, buddy. If you're watching this.
I agree.
Yeah, he is. Transformation from handsome to super hunk.
Oh.
Absolutely. And then, so you guys lived in Abilene for a little bit, or did you?
So directly after college, we moved to Seattle.
Okay.
So I had an opportunity with the Seattle Repertory Theater there in the marketing department. And so did that and then moved back to Dallas, lived there for a couple years. Brandon, I know you had John Mark on, so the band that he was a part of called the Earlies really started to take off. So we moved to Manchester for a little bit and then moved back to Dallas, worked on my master's degree at University of Texas, Dallas, while he traveled back and forth.
Okay.
Then found ourselves back in Abilene when he was done touring with the Earlies.
That's very cool. And the Earlies, for those of you that don't know, it was a really incredible band. And they just did a show a couple months ago.
They
And you guys got to go over and do it all over again.
Yes. It was
How cool
incredible.
was that?
It was incredible.
I read your article that you had written afterwards, or your notes about it, and I was moved. I felt like I was there getting to watch it too.
I
How
love
cool.
that. Thank you for sharing that.
Very cool. So much talent. So you came back to Abilene, and then is that when you started working for the Abilene Education Foundation?
Yes. Yeah. So at the time, the executive director and president brought me in to work as a college advisor at Abilene High School as part of the COOL program, College Offers Opportunities for Life. And that program is still going on today. I think the world of that program. It really helps students kind of formalize what they want to do after they graduate from high school and figure out a plan, what higher education looks like for them, and how to pay for it. And so I was at Abilene High for a few years there. Then I became the program coordinator for that program, and then eventually the board hired me as their executive director. So I spent 13 years with the Abilene Education Foundation.
A while.
A while.
A good chunk, a good
chunk. I
chapter.
loved it.
That's good. And I guess during that time, maybe you and your husband, is that when you guys met our friend Ben, maybe, during that
Yes.
time? And he was doing a private martial arts studio at
Yes.
the time, and you guys started picking up fencing.
We did.
How fun was that?
It was really fun. And Ben has such great energy, and he's such a kind instructor. And so, trying something new, he was game to try it. And so we would suit up, and we were I wasn't any good at it, but I loved it. And eventually, at one point we had talked about maybe we'll try to do competitions, but we never got that far.
Well, I remember, I think I maybe came and watched you guys do it once or twice, but just hearing through Ben about how much fun that was and how you guys really were getting into it. I just love that. It's fun to do things together as a couple, especially
Yes.
active things. Yeah.
Yes. Brandon and I are both very active in terms of we're physically active. Sometimes those activities don't always overlap what we enjoy to do and when, but activity has always been a big part of our relationship. And I brought that to our relationship, which I love because he brought music.
Nice.
And so we both have kind of a I guess, maybe symbiotic relationship there.
That's good. So tell me then, how did the cycling kind of come into that? Was that something that you guys were always doing ahead of time?
So my dad actually got into outdoor cycling.
Okay.
Maybe when I was in high school, and so, and also, I was the kid who loved my bike. So I loved riding my bicycle. My bicycle when I was a kid was named Speedy.
Nice.
And so I loved being on my bicycle as a kid. And when I got into college, I decided I would kind of take up cycling a little bit. So I started riding outside, and then eventually got the shoes and clipped in and enjoyed it. And then took a break from that, got a little bit more into running in my 20s and 30s.
I'm sorry.
I know. I did one marathon, and then I was like, I'm out. I'm out. Peace out. And then my sister, Elizabeth, I was visiting her. She was living in Chicago at the time. And she took me to Soul Cycle, which is an indoor rhythm riding cycling experience. And it was still kind of new. Soul Cycle was still kind of new at the time. It was still owned by the original founders, and went in, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
What have I gotten myself into? I think I just sat the whole time. I was in full running gear. I had no idea what to expect. But I kept going back when I had the opportunity, really enjoyed it, really got into it, and then eventually kind of merged both my love for outdoor cycling with my love for indoor cycling, and then in 2019 opened Fire Cycle, which is a rhythm riding studio.
And that's here in town.
It is in town. We're on South 7th. We're in the front part of Firehouse Fitness, but you don't have to be a member to ride with us. In fact, most of the individuals that choose to cycle with us, some of them don't even work out at Firehouse. They work out at other gyms, and then they just come and work out with us.
And how many bikes do you guys have now?
We have 14.
Okay.
So we're small.
Yeah.
We turn the lights off. We have great music, loud music, fun music,
And I
fun
ran
instruction.
into your business partner with that. Is that fair to call her your business partner,
Yes.
Nina? Back in July, I had a new person that was cleaning my teeth at the dentist, and I thought, oh, I recognize you from Facebook or something. And we got to chatting, and it's Nina, and that's who you partner with for Fire Cycle. How did you guys get to meet?
Her mom, Patricia, was at our opening day,
Okay.
and her mom brought her to Fire Cycle as a rider.
I love that.
Yeah, and then she just eventually got hooked. We started, Nina and I developed a friendship over personal development books. So we both like to read personal development books. So we would exchange those, and then eventually she reached out and asked me about becoming an instructor, and then eventually brought her on as a business partner.
I love that. That's super cool. So 14 bikes. Do you guys come up with your own choreography, or is that something?
We do.
Okay.
We are all certified through Stages. So Stages is the rhythm riding certification program.
Okay.
And those are also the types of bikes that we have in the studio. So the bikes that we have are built and structured for standing choreography.
Okay.
So I always tell people it's really important that you're safe on the bike. And when you're doing rhythm riding, it's really important because you're not necessarily mimicking the open road all the time. So you have to, get your hips back, right? And you also have to have your bike set up properly, and you need to use the right type of bike because not all bikes are created equal.
Interesting. I had a couple years of experience not with Firecycle, but with the RPM at Hendrick Health Club.
I used to go there. I loved their classes.
It was a great class. We probably rode together, honestly.
We probably
did. Just leaving a huge puddle of sweat on the ground. And there's something really fun. I mean, I grew up biking also. We rode our bikes everywhere, to school, we rode them everywhere. And actually in October, some of my siblings and I were in Tennessee for a ceremony for my Aunt Pam, but my uncle has some electronic bikes, like, electronic assist, I should say, and like a really nice mountain bike. And so my brother John and we got on the bikes and started riding around and just having a blast, 2 40-year-olds just laughing. And I looked at him and I said, can you imagine if we had this when we were growing up? We would have been like 2 counties over.
100%.
So far away, you know? So it's probably good that we didn't have those. Do you still ride outside at all?
I do. Not as much as, it's not really, I say it's not the season to ride outside right now, but it's been so warm, we probably could be riding out. The development that's happened in the areas that I used to ride, it's not for me, as conducive for outdoor riding as it used to be. I like a lot of open space. One of my favorite places to ride is flat and windy and sandy, and that's in South Padre Island.
Oh, that's great.
I love to ride my bike there. Every time we go, I take my bicycle. I love to ride to the end of the island and back, or just as far as I want and turn around, but the wind there is pretty intense.
It is.
Yeah, but it's a great experience.
Well, growing up in Abilene and being involved now in all the various capacities that you are, do you feel like Abilene has a bike culture yet? A cycling culture?
Bike Town and the owner over there has really helped cultivate what I would say. There are lots of great riding groups. There's some that are all female. There's some based on level, and they are very accepting in terms of if you want to get out there and you want to try, like they're gonna work with you to find the appropriate group. So if you're looking for an outdoor riding group, I would definitely encourage you to plug into Bike Town and the resources available there.
Yeah, they've been doing great stuff for a while, including the single track off-road kind of facility off of East Lake Road. But I don't want to stay on cycling forever. But
I can talk about it forever.
I feel
it's
like
up to you.
Well, I grew up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and there's like 40 miles of bike trail throughout the entire city. And so moving to Abilene 25 years ago, I was like, where are the bike trails? And then, over the years, we've passed some legislation in the city for some funding for some marked bike lanes. We have some marked bike lanes in town. But I've never felt super safe riding a bicycle in town or even around town. Just that maybe there's not enough cultural awareness that is an acceptable means of transportation for our climate, and it's affordable too, maybe just going back to we lack sidewalks in Abilene everywhere. Not to sound critical, but sidewalks lead to, safer pedestrian traffic, cycling traffic. Have you spent any time thinking about maybe is there something we could do to grow the cycling culture in Abilene?
I have not, but I do hear what you're saying, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
And the fact that I do not think there is a strong in terms of mode of transportation, that being an acceptable or where people are really aware of cyclists on the road. To me, whenever I am riding on the road, it's usually not for transportation. It's more for recreation. And being always assume the car does not see you. You're just always making the assumption that even if they slow down and you think they see you, they may not see you. I've had a lot of close calls on the road, even when it's just like literally me and one other car.
Yeah.
And you're like, how can you not see me right now? But they don't see you.
They don't see you. They're not expecting you.
They're not expecting you.
And I guess maybe that's what I'm thinking about with like changing the culture. I don't even know how to begin to do that, but because unfortunately, people lose their lives on bicycles every year, all over, not just here. But it's something I would like to see grow. I've talked to other people in the community that have come from places with a stronger cycling culture, and what are things that we could do? Could we do a race? Could we do I don't know, just anything and everything. And I guess maybe part of the reason I'm bringing this up is because you, in your current role, Christine Curtis Carr Consulting.
Yes,
You help people with grants and grant writing.
I do.
And so, I don't know, maybe next year we can sit down and talk about how we can start a nonprofit for cycling awareness or something. I don't know, Christine, I'm just up here today. Talk to me about the grant writing. You started doing some of that at the Abilene Education Foundation. Is that kind of where you initially got into grant writing, or was that even something that started before?
So I did a little bit of grant writing in college.
Okay.
At the time, I had an internship with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and so that was really my first taste into the grant writing world. I've always gravitated towards English, creative writing, writing in general, and so that's something that I've enjoyed over the years and found a way to integrate into any profession I've been a part of. But while I was with the Abilene Education Foundation, especially when I served as executive director, I found that the grant writing was one of my favorite parts of the role, the development and the grant writing. I really enjoyed that piece of the puzzle. And so when I chose to leave AEF, it was really difficult to leave. It was really hard to leave AEF, but I knew that it was time and then I was supposed to do something else. I took about a year off where I was like, I'm not going to put any pressure on myself, but I knew that that was an area that I was interested in, and so I joined a global collective of other grant writers, became a certified grant writer, and then I just kind of put it out there in a freelance way. So I didn't have Curtis Carr Consulting. It wasn't formal. I was like, let's just see if I put it out there, how much I really enjoy this, because I was a little bit weary, I guess, of just jumping into something new. And so after about a year, I was like, oh yeah, this is the thing. I'm really digging this a lot. Cool. And so started the business, formalized it, started the marketing, and really tried to level up.
And you have a wonderful website.
Thank you. Kim Osborne, Idea Genius.
It's really great. I mean, I got on there yesterday and was kind of scrolling through, and you have some great information about you and what you're doing, but then you also kind of make it easy, I think, for potential clients to approach you. You have, let's see if I can find on my notes, Are You Grant Ready on the website? Are You Grant Ready? And so tell me about that a little bit. I mean, I know I could click on it and go through the process, and it would probably help fill in some gaps for me about, I don't have this bit of information, or maybe I need to formalize these thoughts a little bit more, but could you give me like a quick synopsis of that?
You bet. So I primarily work with nonprofit organizations, so there are grants available in the for-profit sector, but that's not my zone of genius, right? So my area that I really gravitate towards is helping a nonprofit. And so that particular piece, if you click on it, I think it's 2.5 pages. Okay. And it goes through some of the structural elements that you need to have in place if you're going to apply for grant funding, and then some of the best practices, having financials. Do you have an audit or at least a review? And some of those things, there are funders that will work with you if you don't have those things in place yet, but there are certain things that you've got to have, like all of your documents in a row, your designation, your board put together. You also need some kind of financial history, a bank account, just some basic elements, and then also what are some additional documents that you might want to have in place in order to start applying for grant funding. And it really depends on what you're looking for. A small family private funder may have different requirements, will have different requirements than a state grant or a federal grant.
Interesting. So the Are You Grant Ready model that you've built kind of gets people prepared to be able to receive, or maybe helps people get in a better position to ask?
It does, and also grant funding is a different mechanism than like major gifts or individual donations or even sponsorships. It's just a different way to raise money. It's definitely more formal. It's a more formal process. You have to have data, documentation, but you also can really grow your capacity as an organization if you decide to dip into grant funding. So a lot of times for an organization, you want to really look at adding grants as a good portion of I call it your funding pie, right? So maybe right now your grant funding is less than 10% of your overall funding structure. But you know that in order to grow capacity, in order to add programming, you really need to level up in some certain areas. Grant funding can be a great catalyst for that, to pilot a new program so you can find ways to make it sustainable long term for the organization. I always encourage organizations to look at grant funding as really try to get it close to like 40% of your overall pie, right? So organizations that are leveraged really high in grants, unless you know that grant is sustainable over the long term, which we've seen lately in 2025, the grant sector was very volatile. And so you had organizations that were 80% leveraged with a large federal grant, and then suddenly that grant was gone. Well, you can't sustain yourself on 20%, right? You're either going to have to significantly cut resources or just close altogether. So looking at how you're funding your organization holistically and making sure that grants are a piece of that puzzle for your organization.
And you mentioned 40% feels like a safe number as you look at sort of the big picture of different groups and people that are asking for funding.
And also grant funders in general, they don't want to be your ATM, right? They don't want you just to come back year after year, say, hey, we need another 20,000, we need another 100,000. They want to partner with you to see that you're making real, lasting, sustainable change. So a grant could come in and really help you, like I said, pilot a new program or level up a program you've already started that you want to formalize. I'm thinking particularly large grant dollars, and you get that set. It's now part of your organization, and you can find other funding streams to support it long term, whether that's through donors who wish to contribute legacy funds that then start an endowment where that interest helps support the program. You put it in as part of your overall operating budget where your events and your fundraisers and your donations help support it. Maybe there's an earned revenue stream that can help support that program long term. Those are just some ways to kind of think strategically about your funding. And depending on the size of the nonprofit, the grant ready document is kind of getting you thinking a little bit more like big picture and how to diversify your funding streams to reach your goals.
Well, this is a fascinating conversation. As someone that has recently wrestled with the idea of some nonprofits in some different capacities over the last couple years, and I've had a lot of conversations with knowledgeable people about forming a nonprofit or kind of, best practices, ideas about that. But even just sitting here listening to you talk about this, I'm being educated already just by hearing how you think about this and your wealth of knowledge and experience in this sector for so long. I think really, you're just bringing a ton of added value to the conversation. And of course, this is not something that I'm sitting in all the time, but as someone that has flirted with it and played with it a little bit, you are a huge resource for Abilene.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And maybe one of these days I'll get to fill it out if I'm grant ready or not. You mentioned it just now that this is your zone of genius. Can you unpack zone of genius for our listeners?
So, to me, zone of genius is where the work that you're doing, it lights you up, right? You also are able to see the gaps fairly quickly, right? So there's a lot of things that I can do, and I can do them well because I have a strong work ethic. I'm willing to do the research, but it's draining. For me, that's fundraising events.
Interesting.
They are not my zone of genius. I can do them, and I can do them well, and I need about a week and a half to recover after I've helped with one.
Yeah.
Right? They're super draining for me. Whereas in one day, I can go between a state grant, right, a federal grant, and a small private grant. And at the end of the day, I'm like, that's right.
Got it.
There we go,
Good.
right? And so there's just something about that particular process that lights me up. Are there times where there's big challenges? Yes. Are there times where I've cried at my computer? Yes. Right? Because I'm like, oh, I completely misunderstood that, and now I got to start over, right?
Yep.
But it is an area that even when I have to learn something new in the industry, which I'm having to do right now, and with AI, it's had a huge impact in the grant sector. So I'm having to change the way that I've worked, and that being a beginner again in my industry that I felt really secure in is difficult, and it makes you very vulnerable. But even with all of that, I'm like, this is my thing. You know, I love to help create impact, whatever I'm doing, whether that's through indoor cycling, right, or through the grant consulting, or just relationships with people. And so whenever that component is there and it's an area that I find interesting, to me, that's your zone of genius.
I like that. That's great. I brought up some other thoughts, but I already lost them. That's good. Real quick, back on the fire cycle, if our audience wants to come and ride.
Yeah, first ride free.
First ride free.
Yeah.
And then do you just charge them per session? Or
so yes, so we have lots of different ways that you can come ride with us. So firecycleabilene.com is our website. Our booking agent is Vigaro, so we use a booking agent called Vigaro. If you have the Vigaro app, you use it for other bookings, you'll see us in there, Firecycle Abilene. There is another Firecycle, I think it's in Maryland, but it's not us.
It's not
We're
you.
A standalone.
Don't book that one. Book
This is
one.
purely our own creation. It's called Firecycle Abilene. You create that account, you book your ride, and for your first ride, you enter the code First Ride 2025 all together, and it will take the fee off. It's $15 to ride with us for a drop-in, and then we also offer packages. So we have a 10-pack and a 5-pack. At different price points that get that down anywhere between $8 to $9 a class. And then you have 3 months to use that package. And I'm really glad you asked me about this because this is something that I think is really important. And this is a little bit niche, but in the indoor rhythm riding cycling world, it can get very expensive because you're creating a motivational experience within the ride itself. You're not just plugging in and cycling. You're creating an experience, and so that's where my theater background has really helped me. Right? You're using music and emotion to get a better output, right? And to sweat a little bit more, and also just to lose yourself a bit in the ride so it doesn't feel like so much work. And that, again, goes back to that zone of genius. Like you want to just feel alive in your body, and that's what it should feel like when you move your body. Are there moments where you don't feel that way? Yes. But if you are not feeling alive in your movement, you're in the wrong kind of movement. Like it shouldn't be a constant struggle.
Interesting.
Right? Unless, of course, if you're dealing with other issues, it might be. But you know, what you choose to do should light you up. So, and so for that reason, we also try to make our price point accessible. We also offer different ways that you can pay. We have a pay in 4, right? So for people that like, man, I really want to do this, but maybe that price point is just outside of my budget, then they can pay in 4 installments for a package, and they have 3 months to use it. And so really tried to make everything at Firecycle and in my consulting business accessible for people at different price points.
I love that. Yeah, that's important.
It is important.
It is important. That's great. And you said, so if you wanted to pop in, you could, if there was an available bike.
If there's an available bike. Yes, but you want to check, because if you show up and it's full,
then you're kind of out of...
You can ride podium.
Out of luck. You're out of luck.
But as a brand new rider, you're probably not going to want to ride podium.
That's good. So I listened to your podcast back earlier in the summer with Floyd Miller on It's Everything West Texas, which was great because I didn't even know that podcast was out there, and it's fabulous. And then another great podcast from the storybook capital of Texas. But you mentioned, you made a little offhand comment about people are people, and I kind of feel like that relates to what you're just talking about, that you have this internal sense to treat everyone on a level playing field. Is there any truth in that, or do you kind of take that a different direction?
I think I accept what you're saying. What I feel is that it's meeting people where they're at, right? So, and maybe that is leveling the playing field, right? Not putting that expectation of people to bring something to the table that maybe they're not.
Yeah.
And also realizing that people are people and that most people want to respond and want to feel valued and contribute. They want to contribute to whatever they're a part of on some level.
Yeah.
So, for example, I think in that podcast I talked about how, you're working on this large federal grant, and they always have a contact person, and a lot of grant consultants or grant writers are like, well, they'll never get back to me.
Yeah.
But they do. They get back to you with like sometimes the silliest questions, like, I can't find this one document. And they're like, it's here. You're like, thank you. You know what I mean? But they're dealing with hundreds of emails from across the country. And so there might be a little bit of a delay, but they'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are people, and there's something else there too that I'll need to spend some time thinking about. Because when I heard you mention that, I was like, yeah, she's right. People are people, and people want to help, and people are willing to make time for other people generally.
Yes.
But I think a lot of times we just get kind of caught up in our own fears or whatever, and so we don't end up reaching out or asking the good question or making that content.
And also this, like with funders. So a lot of what I do is reach out to funders, and sometimes they're with private foundations, they're family foundations, and reach out to see if it's a fit, right? They have, they have money to give away. So it's appropriate to reach out and ask if you might be a fit with their foundation. And if you're not, they will just let you know. And guess what? That's one more person that knows the name of your organization.
Yeah.
But you do it in a way that's respectful and that's well thought out. You read and research the funder, the grant funder, let's say, that you're going to reach out to see if it's a fit. And if you read and you know for a fact that it's not, then you don't reach out to them. But if there's any kind of a gray area, that's a great opportunity to make a phone call or to send an email and say, this is what we're about. Do you think there might be potential for us to partner? And they usually will get back to you.
Yeah.
Right? And say, actually, we would like to know more. Or our website, they'll redirect you and say, you can apply here during this time, if that wasn't already on the information that they sent out. But and if they're not friendly back, then just let them be not, it's okay. Like, then that's all right. Like, people are people, and sometimes people have bad days, and sometimes people are annoyed, or sometimes they're overwhelmed, and it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong or that you've approached the situation wrong.
That's interesting. That's good thoughts. I'm going to try to ask a question here, Christina. You can see if this is answerable. I've been in Abilene for 25 years, and one of the things I noticed right away, part of it was because of some of the people I had a chance to work with early on, but we have a lot of large nonprofit foundations in Abilene that do a lot of good. Dodge Jones comes to mind. There's a lot. There's too many to mention. Do you think that is sort of special to Abilene, that we're sort of a larger nonprofit community, that we rely on nonprofits a lot? Or is that is that something that's unique here? Give me some feedback on that.
You bet. So Dodge Jones has sunset. So they're no longer around.
Okay.
So just thought I'd let you know that.
Yeah,
okay.
It's good to know.
Right. So they now there are some offshoots from that are still around. However, what is unique to Abilene? So no, that's not unique.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay.
Now, we do have a strong private foundation presence, which is great, but so do a lot of other communities. So do a lot of other communities in Texas.
Okay.
What is very unique to Abilene, working with clients in other markets, is our willingness to work together. So there are some other markets I've worked in, which shall remain nameless in the podcast. It is so competitive, it is uncomfortable.
Really?
Yes.
Just two groups asking
correct.
for that pot of money.
And the funder wanting those organizations to compete for their attention. It is a different vibe, it is a different energy, and that does not happen in Abilene.
Interesting.
In fact, I really would like to credit the Community Foundation of Abilene and their presence to create a reciprocal relationship among the nonprofits. It's not that there isn't competition at times, but they work very hard to bring nonprofits together for services, to find ways to partner together, and also to spread the wealth in a sense, so nobody feels like they're being forgotten in a lot of ways. Now, are there some nonprofits that maybe we need, maybe we don't?
Yeah.
Probably so.
Yeah.
You know, there's probably a case for that.
Yeah.
But that is something that I have firsthand seen that, and I find it so refreshing. And one reason I really love to work with nonprofits in Abilene, there's just a
different vibe.
It's completely different.
Well, that's good to hear. I like to hear that. That's good. Let's see. You also talk about developing scrappy startups.
In what way?
Well, I don't know, because I think, that could go in a lot of different directions. What does that mean to you? What is there a zone of genius? Yeah, is there a zone of genius in there for you?
So especially organizations that are first getting off the ground, nonprofits, it takes a level of just like really getting in and doing the work and deciding that you're going to succeed, right? And just keep pressing forward, keep asking more questions. I was working with an executive director recently. We were trying to figure out a problem within the budget that was not obvious. So we were having to go to the third-party consultant or CPA. And I just encouraged that director. I said, keep asking until your question is answered, because you may not know the appropriate question to ask yet, but if you keep asking, eventually you're going to get to the question that's going to answer the first question. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just continuing to be like, okay, well, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why is it that way?
Yeah.
And you have to genuinely be asking. It's not asking from a place of judgment or thinking they're wrong. You're like, please explain this to me until I fully understand why it is set up this way. And then once you have your first question answered, then you can really look at everything and make a decision if that's how you want to move forward. And that's part of just when you're starting and being a little bit scrappy, just not taking everything at face value and just continuing to ask and ask and ask until you feel like you have some security in the answer.
I like that. We talked about this a little bit before the show today about the difference between for-profit, non-profit, and I mentioned to you I keep looking for the third way, and I'm still looking for it, and you were able to provide me some more insight into maybe how to think about things differently, but I like that. I like just keep asking the question, keep being scrappy about it, because I don't even know what it is I'm asking for yet. I just feel like there's another way forward, and I'll just keep asking until it shows up, maybe, or maybe it won't. What am I missing today, friend? What else do we want to talk about with you and what you're doing and how people can get a hold of you?
Well, let's talk about personal development.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it. All right.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, do you read personal development books? I'm curious.
I have. I'm not currently.
Okay. So I do have a new blog post. It just came out last night.
Okay, great.
About my 5 top personal development reads of 2025. So not all of these books were put out in 2025, but they're the ones that really caught my attention this year.
Nice.
I mentioned earlier in the podcast, this has been a volatile year for grant consultants. There's been, and our industry is not alone. Emerging AI.
Yeah.
And just, it's just progressed so quickly. And the news cycle has been hard. There's been a lot of changes. A lot of funding comes to the state through the federal government. And so there was a lot of disruption in state funding that I work with that was difficult to navigate last spring. And then just a lot of changes that were coming. So it's very common when there is a new administration at the federal level for grants to be redistributed through different federal departments. So that is something within the grant consulting industry that we're super familiar with. Like, we're like, okay, this used to be with the Department of Education, now it's with the Department of Labor. So we were all just kind of like, that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
And that's not what happened. And we are now coming back to that re-emerging and happening again. So we are seeing some funding that was cut quickly last spring and not redistributed that is now being redistributed to other departments under the new federal government's priorities.
Okay.
So we are seeing that return a little bit. But also, there's a lot of funding through the state government that comes through different federal departments, and a lot of that was frozen like suddenly. And so I had a lot of clients just calling me like in complete panic.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and then I didn't know what was going on. And so I'm reaching out to my collective. They don't know what's going on. So they're trying to get answers. And so it was just, I have never had to rely on other grant consultants so much in my life. There's a couple consultants in town, and we all work really well together. But there's one individual, Lauren Anderson with the Unless Group. She and I collaborate quite a bit on different projects. And a couple days, I just like called her. I was like, "Do you know anything about this?" And she's like, "Yeah, this is what happened." And so it was just kind of tough, right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of people use AI for their grant applications now.
Now, I was going to ask you about that because you
A
mentioned
lot.
that earlier. Yeah.
Okay. And it will work to a certain extent. And I have some tools that I like to use. There's one in particular I really love called Grantable. It's for grant writers. It's closed. I personally never use ChatGPT. I don't use anything that's open AI. Everything I use is closed because I don't want to expose any of my client data.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I still do all my own writing, which a lot of grant writers have gotten away from, which is okay. I'm not judging that. But then what I do is I upload my own narratives into Grantable, and then I use another AI resource called Perplexity for my research. And I pay for Perplexity as well, because when you pay for AI for research, it can access research that you can only pay for.
Yeah.
So open AI research, it's half the time it's wrong.
Yeah.
It's just not even accurate research.
Yeah.
And as a grant writer, I cannot try to reinforce my argument with research that is made up. And it's hard to tell the difference. And that's something I just literally had to learn 6 months ago, like how to do that, because I couldn't keep up. I can't do the old style of research and keep up with applications and be competitive. So I had to learn how to do that in order to stay competitive in the market. And I had to learn it in like a month while all this disruption was happening.
Yep.
Hence, back to the personal development.
Yeah. So personal
So
development.
then I was like, I gotta figure out some stuff, because it was upsetting.
Yeah.
Like to my identity.
Yeah.
To things that I care about, to my clients. And so I really delved into one book that came out recently that was excellent is Strong Ground by Brene Brown. She talks a lot about the AI disruption in leadership and how to lead teams in 2025. That was probably my favorite. The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. That I think that may have come out before. I'm not sure when that came out, but that's a great book as well. A business book, Profit First. It's been out a while. That has to do with business finances. So another thing I had to do was completely look at the way I run my business is financially, both Fire Cycle and my consulting business. And so that book really helped me look at the human element of my business finances and how to create a little bit more stability in an unstable market.
Very good.
So that was helpful. And then what were the other two that I put in there? There's one that was a late edition, Jump for Joy by Hoda Kotb, I think is how you say her last name. She was the Today Show host forever.
Yep.
It's how to embrace joy at any season of life. So that one was just really for the personal, and it was great. And then the other one was Time Anxiety by Chris, I can't pronounce his last name. It's like Gillabro or something.
Okay.
It's a hidden gem.
Okay.
And it has to do with the false constructs of time and how we create pressure, self-imposed pressure that robs us of the joy of whatever it is we're doing. And that book made me cringe a lot, but it probably changed me the most.
Because it brought up things that you had to look at.
I was like, this is so awkward. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so the personal development, I've always enjoyed personal development books or authors or speakers. To me, if you just even get one or two nuggets out of a book, it was worth the read. And a lot of times I pick up personal development books and I don't agree with like 80% of it, but I'm still glad I read it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so, but this year more than any, I had to really delve in and stay centered for myself, my relationships, and my clients.
It's good. It's good. Thanks for making that choice.
You're
It's
welcome.
good. You know, not everybody does. Not everyone can.
No.
Yeah. So it's good that that you have the self-awareness to continue to continue on your journey and make it better for yourself and those in your circles. That's really good.
But it's hard to lead if you don't know yourself.
It's impossible to lead if you don't know yourself.
Yeah, or you're just going to be a really bad leader, and you're gonna cause a lot of chaos.
Yep. Leadership. That's maybe another podcast for another day. What else, my dear? What else? I think we got through most of my notes for you today. Oh, Kiwanis Club.
Oh,
How'd you get involved in
Kiwanis
Kiwanis
Club
Club?
of Abilene. I went when I was with the Abilene Education Foundation.
Okay.
We were giving a presentation. I was not the director at the time, and so the previous director asked me to come along and help. And then when I was there, Faye Dotson, she was the secretary, and she said, "You should look at joining the club." And I thought, well, okay, maybe I will. And then I went to a couple meetings, and I decided to join.
Yep.
That was one of the best decisions I've ever made, is joining that club. I haven't been as active lately, but I will go back to it.
Go back. But I mean, you served in a lot of capacities.
I
You were
did.
past president. You served in other chair positions.
I did.
I'm
I
sure.
helped at the district level. So Kiwanis is an international organization. So our district is Texas and Oklahoma. So served at the district level in a few different ways. And then we had the convention here for a couple. I chaired that with an incredible group between the two Kiwanis clubs in Abilene. We call them the Wednesday Club and the Thursday Club. So I'm part of the Wednesday Club.
Nice.
But met so many amazing people. I've met so many incredible people that I consider friends or that I've learned from, and it doesn't know age or gender. It's just good, solid people.
It's a great place for community.
Yes,
Yeah.
in Kiwanis and in other organizations. Like right now, I'm really involved with the Abilene Philharmonic Guild, which supports the orchestra. I do that with my niece, Olivia, which is
Cool.
great. We do that together. So it's a volunteer organization. It's mostly women that are in the guild, but these are women I would never meet because I'm not a mom. And they're fantastic. I've met so many incredible women through that organization that I wouldn't know otherwise, that I consider friends and have enjoyed getting to know them.
What's the Philharmonic season looking like? Anything coming up you're super excited about? I don't know that we've plugged,
Carmen.
I don't know that we plugged Philharmonic much on the Travi Wavi.
Yeah. Well, the Philharmonic is really my husband's thing.
Yeah.
He's like, when I told him I wanted to join the guild with Olivia, and he goes, only if you make sure you can still attend all the shows, because they volunteer through the show. And I go, okay. So I've had to bring that up a few times. I'm helping with the junior project right now. We're selling raffle tickets, and I'm like, can somebody help work the table while the show's going on? Because I gotta get myself in there in my roquet.
Yeah.
I gotta get myself in my seat. But I love that. I love that Brandon is so passionate about music and so many different types of music. That has really enriched my life.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And then the Abilene Women of Outstanding Achievement.
Yes.
I don't even know what that is. Tell me more about that.
So it's a small volunteer-run nonprofit organization, and so we honor outstanding women in the community, as well as offer scholarships to non-traditional students that are women. And so those are application processes. They're both open right now. So if you go, I think it's Whoa Abilene on Instagram or Facebook, and the links are there.
Okay.
So you can nominate a woman that you would like to be considered to be honored at our annual luncheon, or if you're interested in a scholarship, you can apply.
Okay, that's very cool. What else does that organization do?
That's pretty much
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we do. That's what we exist to do. Those two things.
That's great. Any other capacities that you're serving on right now that I don't know about?
Friends of the Library.
Friends of the Library.
I love the library. I'm a public library. Well, I'm a reader.
Yeah.
So, and my mom used to take me when I was a kid. We do, before, it may have been the summer reading program, or she may have created it. I have no idea. So, but I'm a big reader. My whole family, we're all readers. And so, yeah, I love being parts of Friends of the Library.
Do you have any updates on what's happening with the library and the move to the Heritage Square?
It's going to be in May.
In May.
Okay. It's supposed to be the opening in May. And I do know that the main branch is going to close in a couple of months. And so the only branch that will be open for a little bit is going to be the South Branch that's part of the mall.
Okay.
So that will be our primary only public library for a while, which I know we're all a little concerned about. But hopefully once Heritage Square opens just a few months later, we can make up for that. And then the Mockingbird branch closed, but they're taking those and turning them into satellite libraries at the new rec centers on the north side.
Oh, great.
So I think that will actually end up being a great and accessible way,
Yeah.
particularly for youth to access library resources
think
while they're
that's
already
wonderful.
in a community center
That's wonderful.
location.
Those new centers that are being built at Sears Park and I cannot remember the other one right off of Treadaway are beautiful buildings, and I'm really glad that the
Is it
community,
Daniels?
maybe Daniels, that the city's investing in that, and I'm thrilled to hear that they're going to be satellite libraries at both
Yes.
those facilities too. That's super cool.
It is cool.
What else do I not know about?
Gosh,
I try to stay up on.
I might
things
be a
around here.
little overextended.
No, you're good. You're good.
So I do have to say no. I've had to say no a few times this year to things I wanted to say yes to, but I've just only got so much bandwidth, and I'm getting better at that. And that's something, as I've gotten older, I've realized, okay, I know you want to say yes to this, but you're going to have to say no, or these other things that you love just as much are going to, they're going to be harmed.
Yep, you're going to suffer.
And so I am involved with All Kind, and so I'm on their
We love
board
All
there.
Kind, yep.
So they were one of my clients a couple years ago, and then I'm a big rescue dog owner. I feed all the stray cats. I'm that person. So
It's good.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
All
great.
Kinds done amazing things. We're so grateful to Andrea and all the people that worked so hard to take that over from the city and to do a non-kill shelter. I mean, it's just phenomenal that we have that here in Abilene. So many good things, and we continue to get good things because great people like you continue to step up to the plate and hit
And
home
you.
runs. Well, we're doing our best
You.
around here.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Any questions for me as we wrap up a little bit today?
No. I would like to know what you're reading.
I have a couple of books on the side of my bed, and to be honest with you, I'm real grateful to my girlfriend Bonnie, who has been reading to me.
Oh, that's lovely.
I just love being read to. We're reading. I wish I could tell you the title of that book. It's a group of some essays by a wonderful author. Night Country by Lauren Isley, and it's fabulous. And I think I bought her a book from Jane Goodall recently. I need to spend some more time reading. I've been stitching needlepoint. That's what I've been doing when I'm sitting down. I've been working on
Fantastic.
needlepoint instead of
That
reading.
sounds like a lovely hobby.
It is. It's a lot of fun. Picked it up recently.
I like to do puzzles.
Puzzles are good.
Yeah, I'm terrible at them. Like so bad. So terrible. It takes me forever, but it's good. It's
It's a
calming.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any holiday plans coming up?
We're going to the beach with my parents.
And taking the bikes?
We're taking the bikes and we're taking 2 dogs. So my parents are taking their dog and we're taking one of our dogs that gets along really well with their dog. So we're going to do a little dog beach vacation over the Christmas holidays. We're really excited about
good.
it. Yeah.
That's almost an annual trip for y'all, isn't it?
We go every summer
Okay.
with the whole family.
Yeah.
This year, so we take turns with the holidays. So we were all together for Thanksgiving. And so for Christmas, this is a year where it's just Brandon and I and my folks. And so we were like, why don't we get out of town?
Yeah.
Why don't we go somewhere?
Let's just do it.
So we're going to a different location. For years, since I was in junior high, we stay at the same place. So we've rented a house that's dog friendly. It's on the bay side. We're going to have a different experience, and all 4 of us are very excited about it. We text way more than we should about it already.
Good. So that'll be fun. That'll be Christmas. Anything coming up in 2026 that you're really excited about?
Yes, so many great things are coming up in 2026. I am going to be doing a little bit more creative writing.
Cool.
So that may be through my blog, it may be through another format, but I've really been, I'm a heavy journaler, so I journal a lot first thing in the morning. And I've just got a lot of creative prompts that I've been thinking about, exploring, and so I'm looking forward to just putting some more creative writing out into the world in 2026.
I'll have to start reading your blog.
Thank you. I
It's on your
appreciate it.
website, correct?
It is,
Okay.
and there are categories. Some are very industry specific,
Okay.
and then there are others that are more like growth or,
Yeah.
leadership.
Whatever you want to put out there.
Yeah,
That's
whatever I
good.
want to put out there.
It's good. I'll have to check that out. And your wonderful husband has a couple of shows coming up.
He does, yes. So Brendan has a few different ventures. He has a new album coming out with a group out of Dallas. The band is called Rentalion. And so their vinyl release is going to be January 24th at the Double Wide in
coming up.
Dallas. So that's coming up. It's kind of like a smooth yacht rocky type of
I
vibe.
like it.
But it's new,
I
so it's a
like
little
it.
edgy. Really fun.
Good.
And then he has the Cosmic Cowboy, which is covers of classic country music that's a little bit psychedelic. So he is playing at the Polyphonic Christmas show in Dallas December 20th. And then May 1st, he is opening for Yachtly Crew, which is a yacht rock cover band at Potosi Live as part of, that's actually a fundraiser for the Abilene Education Foundation. So I do encourage people to come out and check that out. He'll be opening
If you've never
for
seen
that.
Brandon's, I never say it right. It's the Cosmic Cowboy Review, but I always call it the Psychedelic Cowgirl Review or something like that. But he's so great. He dresses up in white and sequin mask and everything, and really
It's so fun.
super fun.
Never in
show.
a million years I think he would do something like that. And when he said he was going to do it and he started putting it together,
great.
I didn't even listen to him. I thought he was just kind of kidding.
I think I came to the first show in Dallas at that record shop, like
Yes,
whenever
at
that
Good
was,
Records.
and I was like, "Oh, this is too much. You're
It
having
was
too much
so
fun.
It
This
was
is
so
great."
fun. And that's before he committed to the all white.
Uh-huh.
And so Chris Penn, who has since passed away, is the one who really encouraged Brandon to lean into the cosmic.
Yep, go for it.
And so he put the fringe on the. It's hilarious.
It's super good.
And it's just fun.
It's super
It's just
fun.
and it's music I personally have never heard live. Right? It's just old classic country standards. I'm
Yeah.
like, I've never heard this live ever. Like, because it was way before my time when those songs came out. But they're songs that I know
Yeah.
and I love.
I mean, he puts his little spin on
He
it. Super
does.
good. Well, make sure to tell him
That
I
theremin,
said-
man.
Yeah, the theremin. Tell
Like
him I said
no
hi.
more extra theremins in the house. Drives the dogs nuts.
Oh man, it's so super good. Well, let me think if I have anything else for you today, my dear. I'm just really grateful that you came on the show and shared with us all your knowledge and wisdom. And if you are a nonprofit looking for anything grant related, I mean, you have a lot to offer. So
Thank you.
you can look up Christine Curtis Carr Consulting.com.
Correct.
And it's a beautiful website. She's got lots of resources on that. Her blog is on there. And if you're interested in doing some indoor cycling, fire cycle. I think I covered most of it for today.
did.
We'll have to get you back on the channel and talk about
bet.
more next year.
You bet.
Well, I just really appreciate your time today. Friends, we will not be having a show the rest of December. Our producer extraordinaire, Sam, is going to be in Hawaii. So hopefully he has a good time there. Couple housekeeping things. The Winter Light Fest is happening right now in town. That's a really great thing to do. The Majestic Coffee Shop will be open all holiday long with the exception of Christmas Day and maybe a little bit of an early close Christmas Eve. I don't see Ben in the house today, so I'm going to assume he had to help his parents at the ranch, and we'll probably catch him in a few weeks also. I don't know. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas. Happy holidays.
Thanks for watching the Travi Wavi, and we're excited to bring you a whole nother year of weekly characters from the storybook capital of America. And I think that's about all I have today, Christine.
Thank you for having
so
me.
much.
Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure. All right, signing off from the Travi Wavi. We'll see you next year.